And, you know, Jeff, as far as living in the South, probably in comparison to other Southerners, no, now here we go. I'm going to piss off all of the South now. You know, hey, he might be, in contrast, a real progressive, you know, a very tolerant person. I mean, he's clearly, he has relatives of color. And, but the thing that clinched it for me, where I've always given Jeff the benefit of the doubt, and I'm sorry, Jeff, but when you posted that blog on a David Duke website, that clinched my opinion. And I don't think you're a bad person. I don't think you're a hateful person, but you leave many comments about, you know, this anti-Israel. You know, and I shouldn't say you're the racist uncle. You're kind of the crazy uncle. Come on, Jeff. I was reading your comment on Casey Nunez where this is you proposed, and more on this later, but the oil spill in the Gulf Coast, off of Louisiana. You said to stop the oil from flowing, to detonate an atomic bomb. Now, I don't know if you're serious. Are you serious? What was your other suggestion? Use planes to drop millions of tons of Portland cement on the water. The idea being that the Portland cement would soak up the oil and then sink to the bottom. Of course, killing all sea life along the bottom, but at least it would save the estuaries. So, you know, and then your Hail Satan stuff. Look, I ignore that. But the Hail Satan, you know, that makes me upset, you know. And other people are going to tease me, my atheist friends. Oh, it's just a myth. Why do you let it upset you, you know? I don't like the whole Satanist thing. I don't like the philosophy. Just like I don't like Scientologists. And just like I don't care much for, I'll just leave it at Scientologists for right now. I mean, there's many philosophies and beliefs that I disagree with. Some of them are sort of repulsive. And, you know, the anti-Jew thing, maybe, you say it's like anti-Zionist. But I'm sorry, Jeff, I love you, man. But it came out in the most awful way. And if you're not going to be my friend anymore, that's, you know, I understand. You know? I mean, it was very unfair of Tim to record me and have it come out in that manner. But I'm not going to backpedal and pretend I didn't say it or I didn't mean it. You know, I see you as a lovable, you know, like Archie Bunker or somebody like that. Anyway, I feel bad about that. And probably the rest of you don't care. But I felt I had to talk about it. I had to get that off my chest. And I feel bad. And I look like I got owned by Cyber9. But at least I can say I stuck to my guns, I was honest, and I didn't say anything I didn't mean. And Tim took it out of context, so it sounds worse. And you can just show what kind of man Tim is by the way he conducts himself. And there's some very nice people that are Tim supporters. I don't know why you are. You know? I mean, the man clearly doesn't want to be friends with people on YouTube. Only certain people that will treat him with kid gloves. And people that interact very little with other people on YouTube. With Tim, if you interact with the wrong person, he'll block you. He'll think you stabbed him in the back. It's that military upbringing. It's that military upbringing that I think has a lot to do with his behavior. All right, enough of that. Did I cover it? Did I cover it all? I mean, I wrote down here, I said, well, Jeff may believe he sees the world for how it really is. And that's how a lot of people feel. And, you know, I was wearing this shirt, stereotypes are a time saver. Man, I stereotype all the time. You know, it makes things easier. It makes it like quick, judge, size that person up, you know. Can I trust that person? And, you know, sometimes we're wrong because we're basing it on past experience. All right, then. What a crappy Fez night, eh? Oh, what else is I going to talk about? I should have took more notes. Oh, there was something that happened the other day. I'll tell you a little story that just one of those things that makes you think the world's a beautiful place. I was during the weekday, I rode my skateboard down to the park, which you saw in my video, and I was reading the newspaper, and I like to watch the kids play on the playground, you know, and the pretty moms, you know, and it's the bench is like one of the best places to sit, so I can get the sun and the light just the way I like it. And it was pretty deserted that day, but there was one mom and her, toddler. I think it was a little girl or a little boy. I actually don't remember that, but I remember the woman was singing to her child, and she was singing the song by Janis Joplin. I guess she wrote it. "Oh Lord, won't you buy me a color TV?" And she was so good. She just sounded dead on. And man, it was just so enjoyable to hear her sing to that little child. And I couldn't help but look up every now and then. And she looked at me while she was singing and just gave me the biggest smile. Yeah, it really made my day. You know, there's little things. Appreciate those little things. All right, let's look in the newspaper, okay? Of course, we'll talk about that more. There's an interesting thing, and I've had a couple friends tell me that I'd be very happy in France because of my my demeanor. There's a thing that the French are very upset. Do you know in France, according to this story, France, the retirement age is 55, and Sarkozy's talking about raising the the age for retirement, and the French are very upset. But what a country! You retire at 55. They get a lot more vacation than we do too. And yet they're not a third world country. All these people that say, social democracies are going to go to hell in a handbasket, they've got universal health care.